These are quilts of valor. Our mission from that very first quilt remains the same today, to cover all active service members and veterans touched by war with comforting and healing quilts of valor. From those in the rear with the gear to the frontline service member being touched by war can take many forms. Anyone who has taken the oath of enlistment has accepted the burden and risk and may be touched by war in ways that are not totally apparent. Whether in times of war or peace, we cannot know what they experienced and how it affected them. It is not our job to judge whether someone deserves a quilt, but rather do they need one, and we are ready when they do. A quilt of valor is not a charity quilt. It is not a blanket. It cannot be purchased. It is given as a token of our appreciation for your service. Your quilt consists of 3 layers. The top of the quilt with its many colors, shapes, and fabrics represents the many different individuals that we are. The batting is the center of the quilt. It represents warmth. Its warmth represents our hope that this quilt will bring comfort, peace, and healing to the individual receiving it. The backing is the strength that supports the other layers. It represents the strength of the recipient, the support of his or her family, all of our communities, and our nation. And let's not forget the stitches that hold the layers together. These represent the love, gratitude, and sometimes tears of the maker. We want this quilt to bring a message to you, Dale, from our hearts. We honor you for your service. We honor you for leaving all that you hold dear to stand in harm's way in a time of crisis, protecting us from the effects of war.
Yes.
We know that freedom is not free. The cost of our freedom is the dedication of lives of men and women like you, and this quilt is meant to say thank you for your sacrifice. And finally, this quilt is meant to offer comfort to you and to remind you that although family and friends cannot be with you at all times, you are forever in our hearts. We believe that as we sew, the love, caring, and gratitude flows from our hearts and through our hands into the quilt. We want you to know that through our quilts, you will be forever in our hearts. There is not a hug strong enough. There are not words big enough. All we can offer is thank you. We want you to keep this quilt with you as a tangible reminder that there are thousands of men and women across the land that are forever in your debt. All Quilts of Valor awarded have a Quilt of Valor label on the back of the quilt with the recipient's name, date of award, and the makers of the quilt. And that's Rita and me, we made the quilt. And Kathy is a Quilt of Valor quilter also. We hope that this quilt will become your legacy to be passed down to those future generations in your family, so they will know of your sacrifice to defend and keep not only their country free, but the freedom of others around the world. From what I found on the internet, over 380,000 quilts have been awarded to military so far. We have many, many more service members to cover, and we can only do it one quilt at a time. The quilt we award today is a veteran that wasn't honored yesterday. It's a great privilege and our pleasure to be able to present you with your quilt. While we will never know the strength of your the depth of your sacrifice to protect and defend the United States of America, but as a gesture of gratitude from a grateful nation, I ask that you please accept this Quilt of Valor. Come forward.
Oh my goodness.
Turn around.
Thank you for your service, Dale.
Thank you for your service, Dale.
I did not ever expect anything like this. I'd like to thank the people who made this possible. I mean, I don't think I did anything outstanding or unusual during the time that I was in the service or the reason I went into service, and I enjoyed the time I was in the service. And once again, thank you all for this, and it's so unexpected.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't believe it.
Well, there's other things to show you on this quilt too.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
I seen when you made it.
Okay. Okay, and then okay, and here, what's here? Some fish.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Get all the ideas on that.
And a little Air Force action.
I like the big deal. I was like,
Where'd you get all those ideas?
Yeah, you worked on planes, on aircraft.
Aircraft maintenance specialist.
Exactly,
Cars. My goodness, the difference.
So all of Dale's favorite things are in the center of these stars. There's guitar and Elvis.
Yeah.
Camping and fishing.
Yeah.